wipe the sleep from your eyes. Quit dreaming now, the sun is on the rise. And by the end of the day, this dusty room will be 1,000 miles away. Once heard it said in a song, best keep to traveling on. Ride 10 deep into town.
No way, this is real. No, it can't be true. Maybe for someone else, but not for you.
Hey everyone, I'm back today to finish off this painting of the skateboarder. So today I'm going to focus, I think I'm going to redo the sky. It's slightly the wrong colour, it needs to be a little bit darker. And then I'm going to, I think I'm just going to focus on the actual main subject, so the face, the t-shirt, make sure that's all detailed up, and hopefully maybe by the end of the stream I'll have finished it. I'm not sure how much I'll get done, I am quite tired, so I'll probably do an hour, not more. But as I say, I'll tidy up the background. I think I'll make it quite a lot darker, make the lines much sharper around the edge, and yeah, to make it a much richer blue. So let's get started. I was just thinking to myself, how am I going to mix a darker blue? Because I don't have the right blue. It's sort of between the shoe colour here and the background that I need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same colour as I did yesterday, which I believe I used cerulean blue. And I'm going to mix it with a touch of purple and see if that creates a nice, or violet, sorry, and see if that creates a really nice colour. So that's the cerulean blue there. And I'm just going to grab violet. And to be honest, I'm only going to put a tiny bit on. I just want to see if this mixes together in a nice way. I probably should have done it on a less, in terms of quantity, less of a quantity. But we'll just see. So I'll just grab a bit of the violet, grab quite a lot of the blue, and does that mix nicely? Grab a bit more of the violet. Yeah, I think that's quite promising if you can see it on the palette. It's a much richer blue. So I'm just going to test out an area which I know I'm going to paint over anyway, which is going to be here. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the correct blue. Might need to be a little more bluey, which is fine. We can make that happen. So I'm going to go ahead and mix this. I think I mixed it in a similar quantity to what I had. If not, I'll just add more of the cerulean blue to make it a little bit lighter. So thank you for all the views that I had on my video. It was amazing. Really appreciate that. That's really cool. I've just released a short as well, so that's doing quite well, even though it's only been out an hour. Check that out and see what it looks like. Let me step back and see what that colour looks like. Yeah, I think that's a lot nicer. It's a lot more accurate to the image. I don't necessarily always stick accurate to the image. I don't think the colour I did in the background was particularly realistic in this instance. So putting a nice blue wash over here is going to really help out this painting, I think. It's already grabbing quite a lot, this paint. Just move that out of frame now, it's still in frame. Just going to dilute the paint a bit with some water, a bit like I did yesterday. Oh, that's probably way too much. Just mix it in. Okay, that's quite wet, this paint now. See if it actually still has coverage. Yeah, it's got pretty good coverage still. Be very careful not to go too much over the lines that I did yesterday. So I'm going to try and get the sky out of the way quite quickly so I can really start going on to the detail of the subject. Got a little bit of grit there. I don't necessarily mind having dust or like artifacts in the paint. I think it can add texture. But I want the although the background is certainly, the sky is certainly not going to be 100% consistent. I do want it to be consistent enough to look smooth. But I will try and keep the brush strokes to a minimum, or the brush ends to a minimum. The paint is not going very far today. It's very warm in here. Somebody asked me the other day if I prime the canvases. No was the answer. I mean, I buy pre-primed canvas, but I don't know, I've never tried it. Maybe the paint goes on better. As I say, I've never been to school. I don't really know the science behind painting, which I think is the primary thing you learn during the art school. science and how to use different media. So as you can see, I'm just adding more paint to the palette. Trying to mix a similar colour, if I remember rightly. It's a bit darker than it was before, so I'm going to add a bit more of the blue. Hopefully this should take me up to the end. I've put quite a lot of paint in the palette now. Paint out. This brush holds in a hell of a lot of paint. That's way too dark. I need another tube of paint for this because of the amount of blue on here. So I put an awful lot of paint on there, probably way too much. I'm just trying to match the colour again. I think the colour match is okay. Hi to those of you who've just joined. Hope you had a good day. So, if you were here yesterday, I was just explaining what I'm doing today. So the plan is, I will redo the background because the background was too light. It was too cartoonish. I mean, my paintings are never ultra real anyway. I try and leave expression. Personally, this is my opinion. I'm not saying I'm right, but I don't see any point in making ultra real paintings because ultimately we have cameras for that. There's a lot of skill involved. If I spent an awful lot amount of time, I probably would be able to do it. But what I'm not going for is a cartoon look. So I'm just making the sky a lot deeper colour. So I think in this, well, the reference image, the sky is a lot deeper. But I think it might add a little bit more to the painting if we do have a much deeper blue. Maybe it's a sort of dusky evening type thing. And if it's darker, it'll be a lot easier to make the subject pop out. So you can see I'm actually using a very large brush for this. Let's get some paint off it. Let's just put it down there. The reason I'm using a large brush today when I use quite a small brush around the edges, because I've already defined the boundary, and because this brush has very straight lines, it's quite easy just to go up to the boundary and just pull it this way. But yesterday I avoided going up to the boundary with this brush and used quite a small brush because I didn't really know where the boundary was going to go. Obviously in the intricate bits I will need to use a smaller brush. This bit doesn't really matter because I'm going to paint a tree over it, but I'll just whack the paint on anyway. I'm wondering if this is too dark now. If it is, I'll just put a whitewash, a very light whitewash over it, and then it will neaten up. Try and get all the brush strokes together. Same direction. So I released a short today. My first short. So I released my first video went out I think on Tuesday. It's done quite well. It's got a decent number of views, more than I was hoping for or expecting, not necessarily hoping for. So it's done really well. And honestly, I'm quite surprised at how well it's all gone down, this whole Ollie the Artful channel. My first sort of venture into YouTube. It's my first venture into, I guess, publicly displaying my art, I guess. It's going really well. I've released a YouTube short today and I've already got 3 subscribers from it, and it was only about an hour ago. Thank you, Lou, for subscribing. I really appreciate that. Amazing. I really enjoy it. I think, as I say, I've been hiding my art in sort of my shed before. And you thought, you know what? I'm going to share it to the world. I enjoy art. I enjoy watching other people do it. It's quite therapeutic. I enjoy listening to other people ramble on like I am now. And I guess this is the reason why I started. I don't know why I'm overpainting this. I'm going to paint over it with a tree in a minute. Or not in a minute, in another stream. Sorry, my head's in the way. I'm just doing the edges. I don't want to miss a bit. So yeah, going back to the channel. I started this channel just over a week ago. Well, maybe 10 days. I can't even remember. I did it on a bit of a whim. I just wanted to stream. To be honest, I thought my audience would be on Twitch. I'm still streaming on Twitch, but I have 3 followers on Twitch. 2 of them, well, one of them's me, and the other 2 I think are friends. Actually, one I think is a random. But no one ever watches my Twitch streams. But on YouTube, I'm getting quite a lot of traction. I think Twitch is completely the wrong platform. More for gaming, anyway. So, I've also got Instagram channels, and I'm planning to create a Facebook account, maybe stream on there too. We'll see. I don't know what the future is. I am quite determined never to have any of my streams interrupted by adverts or anything, because I think it's all therapeutic. All my videos, that is. And a lot of my channel, I think, is all about mindfulness, or taking you away from reality. And an advert just gets in the way of that and just brings you back down to earth. So yeah, I won't monetize the channel, I don't think. However, I probably will offer Patreon memberships, etc. And ultimately, I want to start making money from my painting. I want people to have the confidence to start paying me to paint, I guess. Just like this one here. So that's the direction I want to take the channel, really. I think it's quite exciting. I think it's gone down really well to begin with, much better than I would have expected. And yeah, thanks to all your support. I've really appreciated it. Really, really good. I'm being a bit lazy by keeping this brush. So I've done quite well. I was planning to get the colour between sort of the background colour and the shoe, and I think I've done quite well in that. Sometimes it's a bit daunting mixing colours, especially when you're mixing so much because you don't want to waste it. This paint isn't that cheap. So if anyone has any suggestions on how to improve my channel or what to paint or how to gain an audience, let me know either in the chat or in the comments. I really appreciate it because I'm a total novice to the YouTube thing. All I know from YouTube, everyone keeps saying, oh, like and subscribe my videos. I mean, I do like videos. Does that make a difference if you're not showing adverts on your channel? Does YouTube treat you differently? All these things I don't know. I think the paint's getting a bit dry. I need to loosen it up with a bit of water. Okay, so that's half of it done. I'll loosen up with a bit of water. So this video, so I'll release this painting just like I will do with all the others. I'll release it in a series of 3 shorts. I'm recording it, which is so I can release that. And then what I did with the other one, I released a 15-minute video first before I did the shorts. What I think I'll do from now on, I'll release the shorts, so a series of 3 shorts, maybe on a, I don't know, a Sunday, Monday and Friday. Sorry, Monday. Sorry, what was I saying? I'll release the shorts on a Monday, Wednesday and a Friday. And then on a Saturday early in the morning, I'll release the 15-minute video. At least that's what ChatGPT told me I should do. So I plan to do about 1 painting a week on average, if I can keep that up. I'm not, my favourite subjects are sort of people. I love portraits. This is slightly odd for me. This isn't really a portrait, this is more of an action shot with a bit of landscape in the background. It's not really something I've ever done before. So it'll be interesting how this one turns out. Slightly outside my comfort zone, I'll say, this painting. But then again, in April, everything was out of my comfort zone because I didn't paint. I started painting in April. Just moving that out of the way so I can paint the top. So I much prefer standing up when I paint, by the way. I find it a lot easier to express myself. You're not restricted by the movement of sitting down. You do whatever you want. And I feel like the brush strokes are a lot more natural when you're standing up. Most of the, well, all the artists I've seen on like Twitch who do it live, they all sit down with an overhead camera. I think I'll struggle to do that format. I quite like this format. Bob Rossess, I guess. I actually found out who he was the other day, I didn't really know. I'm looking forward to the day when my streams get quite popular and people are chatting, giving me suggestions on what to do, helping me out. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And I am getting views on my streams, which is really quite cool. To be honest, I was expecting to stream to... Yesterday I had 24 viewers. Which for me is a lot. I only started last week. And I don't really... I don't know. I understand why people watch it, because I'd watch this sort of thing, someone else doing it. But I don't expect other people to watch me do it. But I really appreciate everyone who does. I really do. So as I mentioned earlier, I think my channel is going really rather well. I'm really impressed with how everything's sort of taken off. Really happy with it. definitely beyond expectations. So I've almost finished the background now. I've done all this with this brush. Obviously I need to go around where the hands are. Need to be a lot more finer. Just going to go around and try and get rid of any obvious brush marks. Just loosening up the paint again with the water. I don't mind brush marks too much. It's, at the end of the day, it's a painting, it's not going to be perfect. And I'm actually not into all that nice, smooth, consistent colour. I much prefer textures going on. Just definitely the way I paint. So as I mentioned earlier, after I've done this, I'll just go and start detailing on the actual main subject. For those of you who just joined me, I think the stream will probably last until maybe 9:20, 9:30 UK time. It's not going to be a long one tonight. I'm quite tired. I got an early morning. Just wanted to get a few things. I just wanted to get this on the next level of it. So my goal by the end of the stream, I don't know whether it's achievable, is to basically completely finish the subject. I probably won't do the skateboard, I'll just do the person himself. And then on Saturday, when I'll be streaming next, I will quickly just texture the bottom bit. That won't take very long, I don't think. I've just remembered I haven't actually painted the bottom of the canvas. And then I might start on this tree and put another tree here. That'll be interesting because I've never actually done trees before. It'll be very interesting to see how I get on with that. I was asked in one of my comments, do I like study art before I paint? And the answer is no, I just go. These are my tools, that's my paints. Just go ahead and paint and see what happens. I don't really study techniques or anything. I mean, obviously I watch the occasional artist, probably take inspiration from them, but I don't really feel like I've ever studied anyone in detail or studied the technique. I just sort of whack the paint onto the paper and see what happens. I've got loads of paint left. Actually, it's not that much paint left over. So I'm going to step back, as you should always do. See what it looks like. I think it looks alright. It's very shiny at the moment because of the wet paint. Hopefully it'll look a lot more natural when it's dry. So I need to wash this brush. So I really like acrylics because they dry quickly. A lot of people I know hate acrylics because they dry quickly. I don't have patience. I want them to dry quickly so I can move on. Just cleaning the brush. One thing I have learned is always clean your brushes as soon as possible. Your brushes are your tools, keep them clean. Alright, so I'm gonna put this palette over here so it's out of the way. My other palette. That's on palette cam. So now I'm going to focus on the subject. Think. Try to work out which area to focus on, to be honest. I'll do the hair last. I always do hair last. Hair needs to be always done last. It's the most focal bit. What I might do is I'll start from the shoes and go up. I'll do the skateboard later on, another day. So, different technique here, obviously, to painting a big block colour. I need really fine brushes, so I use these ones. I'll use that for the sort of larger detail area. So as always, my main base colour is probably going to be, I'm going to use a lot of white. Just for highlights. Just whack a bit of that down. And then I'm going to put a couple of blues down. So I'm going to use cobalt blue. This is for the traders. I'm going to put a dab of that down. And I'll put a dab of ultramarine down. And then I'll accentuate the shadows a little bit, probably, by putting a bit of Payne's Grey down. So I'm now going to go details around the shoes, because this is quite a big canvas. This is a 90cm by 60cm. I will do the same sort of resolution of detail as I would in a smaller painting, but because it's a bigger canvas, it's going to look more detailed. So let's see what I can do here. I'm going to mix a bit of blue with white. And this is going to be like my highlight. Well, not highlight, this is going to just be the front of the shoe here. The way I paint, I accentuate highlights, so I make them a lot brighter, and I tend to make shadows a lot darker as well. It's just something that I do. So I'm mixing quite a dark, probably can't see that very well, it's quite a long way away. But I'm mixing quite a dark sort of, much darker than what the painting actually shows. Sorry, the picture actually shows. There's no way you can see that in the reference image anyway. As I say, I'm accentuating the shadow because it makes the subject pop a lot more. Let me know in any comments or chat today if there's any particular subjects that you want me to paint. I do need suggestions. I'm not totally, I don't like have a plan of what I'm going to paint as I go forward. The plan is that hopefully I'll get commissions to go forward and paint while I'm on YouTube, but obviously that's probably not going to happen a lot to start with anyway. I'm going to do the laces now. Should I do laces? Laces are a bit detailed, but I will do the laces. I know you're not going to be able to see this very well. One thing I really love about art is the way it kind of breeds a conversation. So somebody told me today, a friend told me today, that they actually watched my stream and it just bred a conversation that they hadn't had for a while. It's very passionate about art. And life got in the way. Just like it did with my art. I never really considered doing art really because life got in the way. Life is a subject that gets in the way all the time. So it was they were telling me how really nice it was to watch like a stream and videos so they could discuss the subject they're both passionate about. And I thought it was a really nice way to sum up how art really affects you. I'm not doing a great job on this shoe, by the way. I might have to go back and redo it. I'm putting some highlights on to see if I can rescue it. My style isn't ultra detailed anyway, so I'm not that bothered if it's not accurate. I just want it to look okay. There's a nice shadow that runs along here. Actually runs along the front down here as well. There's a really nice highlight that runs down this way. This is what I was talking about, accentuating the highlights. Well, this is where you need to step back and reassure yourself that does look like a shoe. And it does from a distance, it's just not very good close up. Be interesting to see what you think it looks like on the stream. Let me look into the... Yeah, I guess it does look like a shoe on the stream. I need to match that colour again for the sky, because you can see I need to go around the outside and make sure the colour is more defined. So let me just try and do that now. So it's a bit of cerulean blue and then a bit of violet. A really small bit of violet. Oh wait a sec, I've still got a palette with loads of the colour on it, don't I? So I'm now making the shoe much more detailed, the edge is more detailed. Good thing I didn't wash that palette, because actually I could do this around the whole subject. Make sure it all sticks out. So that's one shoe done. Now I'll work on the other one, using the same colour palette. So again, start off with the shadows, around the edge here, around the back. Tried to put curves in there, it didn't really work. So I'll put the white on, or not white, the very light blue. So because this shoe is almost entirely in shadow, it's going to actually look a bit different, a different colour from the other one. I'm still going to use the same base colours. I say that, I've just totally used a cerulean blue to mix this, but it's close enough. I'm just going to do the laces again. It's kind of getting there. Just refine it around here a bit. Then I need to go and Again, do the highlights. Do the really dark detail, and I can't really see the laces on this image. The image quality is not great, but I'm just going to make them up and see what happens. So that looks a totally different color at the moment. And it kind of is in the image actually, because it's a different, it's a lot darker. Get out some ultramarine blue again. And even though the highlights don't exist here, I'm just going to go in, put them in pretty strong. It will lighten up the shoe. Just breeds the attention to it. And also the base at the back here is very, very bright compared to the rest of the shoe. And then the shadow starts just about here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do quite a light wash for the shadow. Might have to come back and redo this shoe again, or wait for it to dry to add a bit more detail. But other than that, on the stream it looks alright. I need to go around and I'll wait for the white to dry and then I'll go around and define the shoe with the against the background. Oops, sorry. So I don't think I'm going to manage to complete the whole subject today. But I'll get most of it done. I'll certainly manage the trousers. I might stop at the trousers actually and then start on the top half on Saturday. As I say, I'm pretty tired today. I'd like to rest before I go to sleep. So I'm just getting the colours for the trousers, so it consists of grey, Payne's grey, and a beige. And obviously I'll use the white that's already there. I'm going to add a little bit of colour into the trousers. So I'm going to infer the colour from these things. So I'll use a tiny bit of orange red. I'll just put a sort of dab on it so I can grab it as and when I need to. It's not remotely in the image, but it's going to bring the image together if you start using colours from different areas. I can't remember what I did. It's probably orange, grey and maybe white or beige, I can't remember. Oh, actually, I think I used tan, didn't I? So, as always, I'm going to start off with the shadows. I'm going to accentuate the shadows. probably work from the other leg that way so I don't cover it when I paint. So as I've described when I paint, I'm very much accentuating the shadows and then accentuating the highlights. It's just the way I've always painted. I like doing it. I think it makes everything pop quite nicely. So I'm using raw Payne's Grey on this. I'm not going for photorealism at all. By the way, what I'm planning to do, instead of having a reference image, I might have an image, like a window on my screen. So I screen share and sort of be able to zoom in to certain areas, just like I can on my tablet. I don't know how practical that's going to be honest, but I'll try. By the way, I'm really, don't know whether I'm surprised. The amount of support I've received from people like colleagues and friends I don't really know, who've really taken to this and said, wow, I'm really enjoying your videos, I'm really enjoying your channels. It's really nice. It really is nice. I'm really happy for it. I genuinely am. It's one of the most rewarding things I think I've possibly ever done starting this channel. Even though it's only a week old, I'm really thankful for everyone's input, everyone's suggestions. I'm a bit hard-headed, don't necessarily listen to those suggestions, but I do appreciate them. I don't really like these brushes. I don't feel like they hold as much paint as they possibly should. They were just Amazon ones, I think they're unbranded. H&S. Is that the size? I mean, they're not terrible, but I just find it difficult to put the paint down with them. I know they're small. So as I say, I'll probably just finish the trousers today, finish off that shoe that I need to finish off, and then from there I'll just chill out and see everyone on a Saturday when I do my next stream. So as I said, my plan is to try and get one stream one painting done every week. Because that will give me 3 shorts and a 15-minute video every week. That's all the streams, obviously. I think that's a nice, regular release. If I don't manage it, I might try myself at some mindfulness videos, sort of taking you on journeys through like a forest or something. I might even go and film my own sort of forestry walks. To take you through them in a mindfulness type thing. I think understanding who you are, understanding your mind, your soul is really important. And mindfulness really helps you do that. Or really helps me do that. Brings yourself back to who you are and helps you forget your The difficulties of the world. We do live in a difficult world at the moment. But there's light and happiness regardless. Doesn't matter how bad it can get, there's always happiness and light. And I genuinely do believe that. I feel like I've witnessed it and experienced it. So even though these trousers are just grey trousers, there really is a lot of depth to the colour. I'm going to sort of infer the orange a little bit now. I'm going to do it just on the edges of the highlights. I'll do it in the grey a little bit as well. I'll use my finger to smudge it in. And what that's going to do, I don't know if you can see it very well, it's going to really connect that bit of the painting to that bit of the painting. That bit in the shoe as well, oops, that wasn't dry. I don't really remember my high school art, to be honest. My secondary school art. I did do a sort of crash higher as it was. Let's call it crash because I didn't do the GCSE side of things. So higher, I grew up in Scotland, so I did highers. So I didn't do the standard grade for art. I just went straight into the art and design. I don't really remember much of it. I certainly hated all the theory stuff where you had to learn about other artists. I was like, what's the point in that? I just want to paint. I guess that kind of put me off art, to be honest, having to learn all the history. But the one thing I do remember is about colour inference. Now, because that's got orange in it, it draws your eye to there. Whereas it's not two separate images that it was before. So I do like using my fingers to do painting, to sort of smudge it in. Especially on clothes, I think it works really nicely on clothes. Stand back and see what that looks like. Yeah, I think it looks alright, doesn't it? Put a tiny little bit of highlight on this edge just to show there's some colour coming in from the back. Doesn't actually exist in the real thing, but it's made that leg pop out a little bit, hasn't it? Same down here. I'll just use a little bit of grey just to merge it all in. My finger, obviously. So right, so I somehow need to highlight the edge of that leg, how it comes down like that. So I need to keep this bit separate from that. That's one of the challenges you have with painting when you've got two very similar colours, to understand how to separate, show that actually one is different from the other, or an object is in front of the other. So you do have to use your, I guess, imagination to understand how the colouring is working around the thing, the subject, and essentially just paint something that it doesn't exist. Actually, there's a line that goes all the way around his crotch. Don't know whether I'll paint that or not. So I go very deep with the shadow around here because it is possibly the darkest bit of the painting. But as a whole, certainly of the subject. Looks a little bit like he's wet himself, to be honest. I will lighten it up. I don't know what that line is that I drew yesterday. It's completely wrong. There's no sense at all in the big scheme of things. So I'm just using my finger to blend in over here. I'll do it a little bit over here as well. So I've said multiple times, I always prefer starting dark and then working up to light. This is just the dark, and then I'm going to put the lightness on later on.
Nobody knows me like you do. You just read my mind. Nobody gets me.
Right, I'll start working my way up to light now.
We're intertwined. Seasons come and go. Universe will change, but I'll feel the same. Thought that you should know. Even if my eyes are closed, I see you.
So one of the techniques I quite like doing is mixing it on the canvas. So you see how I'm blending in this grey with this Payne's grey? I'm doing that on the canvas, I haven't mixed it on the palette at all. I quite like doing that because I think you have more control over the sort of gradient on the page. A couple of mistakes there, let me just see if I can rub it out with my finger.
Nobody sees me like you do. You just make me smile, and I wanna hold you all the time. 'Cause all I do is love you. I can't get enough of you. Swear that I will follow anywhere you go. 'Cause I can
I'm going to blend this in with my finger here. Oh, looks good, I think. I'll apply some of the orange in a sec to the crotch area. I'm not going for super realistic, as I keep saying. This is an action shot as well, so you have to kind of consider the movement. And if you make all the lines pristine and all the blending perfect, I don't think it represents the ripples as well as it possibly could. Right, and I'll do this ankle with all the very similar to the way I did it down there. To be honest, I put a lot more detail on that ankle than I did around the crotch area.
What's it for? What's it for? There's so much more than we've been told.
Some really dark shadows around here, using pure Payne's grey as much as I can.
So keep your eyes open.
Oh.
For the things that really matter. Oh, we have to give it one more try. Now that the idiots are taking over, they're caught up in the race of wanting more, and we can tell one from the other. No one can tell you what they're running from. No one knows anymore. What's it for?
So once I've done the trousers, I'll just zoom in, show you what I've managed to achieve. So stick around for that. And I'll zoom in for the, I need to finish off this shoe, but and do the outline of the sky.
One more time before it's over. They're caught up in the race of wanting more, and we can tell one from the other. No one can tell you what they're running from. No one knows anymore. What's it for? What's it for?
Oh. Bobbing out a bit that I made a mess of. Really, really dark shadow there, which I've actually already got, which is good. And it's a few darker bits areas here. I'm just going to actually finger paint this a little bit. I find my finger so versatile. It's really, really good at getting to the nooks and crannies and then blending it in really nicely. Don't underrate finger painting. Stuff you learnt in nursery school. It really is. Possibly my most effective technique when it comes to blending. It's the right paint to get clean off though. So I think it's only highlights now. Oh, inference of, I need to infer the orange. Oh, that's dried already. Just grab some of that. Grab some of that. I'm going to add orange to this. Some of the shadows, blend it in. A little bit too orangey there. I don't mind pops of orange, to be honest. Little pop on the shoe here. Always nice to have a bit of colour inference. I just need to do this edge of the trousers. I'm going to do that mainly in white, but because I've already got the beige down, certainly the outside line is going to be white. I'll probably end up going back and redoing some of the highlights on the leg anyway as I start finishing off and seeing how the whole painting works together. The last thing I tend to do is paint white on the painting just to really accentuate lots of highlights, add, as I keep saying, adding that sort of popping to the painting. I don't think you can ever have too much white on a painting, too many highlights on a painting. All it's going to do is just change the lighting slightly. You can have far too many shadows. You can make the painting really dull and dreary if you have too many shadows. I don't think having too much highlighting is as long as you're fairly subtle with it, I don't think it really makes. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm talking about. I think you can accentuate the highlights a lot more than the shadows, I think is what I'm trying to get at. White's not going to harm your painting, whereas shadows can. So I'm trying to bring the fact that the lighting's obviously behind the skateboarder. Add a bit of Asian just to ease off on the white a bit. So as I say, when I finish this, I'm going to sort of zoom in to let you see exactly what this whole area looks like. Oh, didn't really want to put that there. Step back, have a quick look. I think it looks alright, to be honest. Now I just need to finish off the laces on this image here. A couple of highlights on it. Highlights might be a bit strong, but I can always tone them down with a bit more blue later on. I'm going to grab the background blue that I created, sky blue, get some of that on my brush so I can finish off the edge of the just tidy up the edges a little bit. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that dries tomorrow, and if I need to go back and do anything, redo those trousers. I think they look alright for now. Maybe they need a couple of highlights and more shadows, a bit darker areas. But as I said, I'll just zoom in. I need to focus. I'll just add a bit of light on here as well. So yeah, you can see what I've done. I've made the shoes. Just grabbing another bit of the background sky blue. I overran a little bit here and here. So yeah, that's the end of the stream today. Pretty happy with how it's gone so far. Quite tired, so hopefully have a good night's sleep. I hope you guys do too as well. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments of the video that come out. So as I promised, this is the I zoomed in, showing you what I've actually painted. So managed to paint the shoes and the trousers. I think there's a little bit more detail looking at the stream at the moment. Actually, the colours are a bit more exposed in the stream. Let me see if I can. That's probably a little bit more realistic colour wise. There probably needs to be a little more detail up here, which I'll do later on. But other than that, I think it looks pretty good. The sort of shadows, the creases. Again, this is quite a small area of the painting, but I hope it's popping out quite nicely. You can see that detail. You can see the sort of life inside the subject. Just quickly going to infer some colour. Might bring it together a little bit if I infer the colour, whilst I've still got a bit of the colour on my palette. So inferring the colour is basically taking that to that. It's not in the reference image, it's just brings the painting together. So that would be it. End of the stream. So this is what I achieved today. I did the trousers and I did the background. I did the shoes. So on Saturday when I'm back, I'll do the t-shirt and I'll just finish off the whole subject. That won't take too long, I don't think. I'll probably finish off, you can't see that because I've zoomed in. Zoom out. I'll finish off this bit as well on Saturday, and I might start on the tree. This won't take very long at all. This is just a textured effect which I'll put on there, and then I might start the tree. I'm a bit apprehensive about the tree because I've never done a tree before. Exciting to see what it is. So thank you for joining me today. Let me know what you think. Write comments. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. Really does help. Have a look at my YouTube short that I posted today, and yeah, I think I'll post another short tomorrow or Saturday probably, actually, so keep an eye out for them of my previous project. So thanks for joining me, I really appreciate it, and yeah, let me know what you think.
I've been trying so hard, and finally it gets me down.